5,000 miles south of the country of Peru. This is an informational and persuasive speech about the Inca village of Machu Picchu. Did I say that right? In Peru. He has chosen this topic out of pure appreciation of the area from past travels. The speech is entitled Explore Machu Picchu. He will discuss why he recommends travel to this destination. Please help me welcome Jeff Sanders.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, Mr. Toastmaster. This will be my most interesting speech because I was unable to prepare for this. So I get to wing it, which is good practice. How many of you have never heard of Machu Picchu? How many of you have been to Machu Picchu? One person. Very amazing place, isn't it? I would like to take all of you on a verbal trip to Machu Picchu, Peru. In case you are not sure what it is an Inca ruins believed to have been built in the 1400s up on a mountaintop deep into the Andes Mountains at about 8,000 feet, which was abandoned sometime they believe in the 1500s during the time of the Spanish conquest. But the Spaniards never found Machu Picchu, and so consequently it was preserved quite well, overgrown with vegetation and so on. That's why they were able to bring it back to look so amazing. But before we talk any more about Machu Picchu, I want to talk about how to get there. First thing you have to do is get on a plane and fly to Lima, Peru, which is the largest and most populated city in Peru. It is at sea level, and to get to Machu Picchu, you have to fly to another large city in Peru known as Cusco. Amazing city, but that's a whole other speech by itself. But Cusco has a population of about 430,000 people, and I think 100,000 churches. And they have a celebration of the Virgin Mary twice a week, dancing around the town and parades and bands and singing, and it's just an amazing, fun place to be. Cusco is the place where you catch the train to go to Machu Picchu. Cusco is 11,200 feet, and Machu Picchu is only about 8,000. And so you take a train downhill, but you go by the Andes Mountains. There are about 20,000 foot peaks, numerous peaks. I remember 3 in particular. Heavily snow-covered, glacier-covered peaks. Just beautiful in a glass-top train as you go in there. And it's about 50 miles or 80 kilometers to get to a little town at the base of Machu Picchu, which is called Aguas Calientes, which stands for hot water. And it has a lot of hot springs there, and it's a very fun little town. Lots of little hotels, restaurants, and so on there. From Aguas Calientes, you hop on the motor coach, and you go up a series of, you know how many? 18, 20 long dirt road switchbacks to 180-degree switchbacks on this big motor coach to get up to the parking lot where there's a restaurant and a lodge and where you buy your ticket to go into Machu Picchu. And when you first walk in there, it's breathtaking. They say it's 5 square miles when I was doing my research. It doesn't appear to be 5 square miles in size. But there's over 200 granite stone built buildings spread all over. It's terraced on all sides for where they could grow all their crops. It was believed to be completely self-sufficient for up to 1,000 people. And they grew all their own stuff, which is where many people know it. Quinoa, I always think of quinoa when I think of Peru, where they grew things high in the mountains. Quinoa was very popular. Food for all of them. It's also considered the #1 or one of the most recognizable archaeological sites in the world. And what I found fascinating about Machu Picchu and a lot of the rock work around Peru was the way they put their buildings together. These are stones, some of them up to 50 tons, that have they're mortarless fit together perfectly to where you cannot slide a knife blade or a credit card in between them. I have some pictures I'll show around here. When you first come into Machu Picchu, when you walk in, it looks something like this. Pretty breathtaking place. This mountain in the background here, Machu Picchu is the village itself. The mountain in the background is known as Huayna Picchu. Huayna Picchu is also full of ruins on the top, and they allow 400 people a day to climb up to the top of Huayna Picchu. And it's a little challenging, but it's doable. There's cables and stones and little caves you have to crawl through to get up to the top of that. But the view from Huayna Picchu is pretty incredible. It is not a big picture, but if you look back down on it, you're looking down at Machu Picchu there. I'll pass this book around. There's some other pictures in here you can see that, but that's looking from the top of Huayna Picchu down at the village of Machu Picchu. And it's just amazing. And you can see from up there all the terraced areas where they grew their food. It was pretty amazing. Notice this picture of this little Inca boy here in this suit. I'll tell a little story about him when we leave. After we got down off climbing the top of Huayna Picchu, we got back on the bus, and as we were leaving, this boy was sitting there, and we come around the corner, and he waves at us. Hello, you can hear him, hello. It's got this Inca suit on, and we all wave at him, and we turn this 180-degree turn, come down again. Here he is on the next turn. Hello, hello. All the way through 18 turns, every time we came around, here's the same kid. Hello. We're all laughing and waving and yelling at him when we get down the bottom. Well, it turns out there's a set of steps that goes right down through all the switchbacks made out of stone from the top to the bottom. So every time the bus would go by, he'd just run down the steps, and there he would be. When we got down to the bottom, the bus driver would start running away. We're all yelling at him, stop, stop. And the boy's like, yeah, no, no. And he gets on the bus, and he starts hollering at everybody and holds his bag out and gets his tips. And it was pretty interesting. When you get down there, Aguas Calientes is a fun little place. You can take hot tubs, hot baths. The train, the huge train that takes you there, goes right through the center of town, and it's probably no more than 8-10 feet from the openings of all of the businesses that sell their wares and their rugs and clothing and whatever else they have going there. And there's some great little restaurants along there. It was one of I've been a lot of places in my life, but this one I remember the most. And it's just amazing. The reason I'm telling you all about it is if you're thinking about taking a vacation somewhere, I highly recommend going there if you want a little adventure and to see an archaeological site. It's absolutely incredible. Thank you.